Hey guys, how you doing? In this video I'm going to be talking about Red Dead, well, it's on the screen. Yeah, Red Dead Online, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's kind of controversial right now on the internet, on YouTube. I stay away from those videos usually. Those kind of videos talking shit about games, especially popular games. Because usually like What Culture Gaming and Clean Prince Gaming and all those fucking gaming channels. Usually it's just a grab for easy views, insulting a popular game. It's gonna get you some clickbait views. Usually it is, but I think this time, I'm not talking about those channels are still fucking herpes. But from other channels and other YouTubers and other gamers and stuff, this time it's kind of, it's got, you know, a basis. It's fair, the criticism and the critiquing that has been, you know, put towards Red Dead Redemption 2, and I've got my own thoughts to add to it, and I thought I would, because I'm ultra famous on YouTube, quite clearly, so I thought I'd add my feedback to the mix, because I love this game, you know. If I didn't really like the game, I'd just be like, oh, whatever, don't give a fuck, and then I'd just let people bitch about it on the internet. I wouldn't care, but I really do love this game, so I'm invested in it, you know, or invested in it. It's beta, as you can see that it's in the beta stage, so the more people that give feedback now, the better the end product will be, whenever that end product is. I don't know if they're gonna do, I don't know, they seem to be going down the route of things like Ark and stuff, where they just keep it in beta until they know it's ready. They don't launch it, they just like they keep the full game in beta. Anyway, enough of that. People have been complaining because there's been downgrades, there's been, you know, I mean, there's some shortcomings, especially in the multiplayer. The campaign's amazing, but in the multiplayer, I don't know, what I've found, I'll just talk about what I've found. I won't talk about other videos. Fuck those guys. I don't care about those other videos. Talk about what I've found. I love the game. The soundtrack's amazing. The graphics are amazing. The atmosphere is stunning. The acting is amazing. Really good cast. Really good, you know, script and dialogue and everything. World is phenomenal. You know, it incorporates parts of the original Red Dead Redemption 1's world and puts it in Red Dead Redemption 2, but adds stuff. It's not just like they've remastered the same map. It's really, really good. It is. It's great. The one thing, and I've said this from the very beginning, and it could have dire consequences. The one thing is the actual gameplay. What I mean is how heavy the gameplay, especially the gunplay and the shooting mechanic feels in the game. Now, I don't know who it was. I would give a shout out to the person who it was. I don't know who it was, so I won't give a shout out. But there was a YouTuber, I think it was a YouTuber anyway, who tested to see how slow this game reacts in terms of when you push a stick on the PS4 or the Xbox One controller, how long it takes for the game to respond to it and react, and for Arthur or, you know, your multiplayer character to respond to that movement of the stick, to the wiggling of the stick. And they said it took around 11 frames for the game to react. So let's say, right, I got my controller here, right? Let's say, you know, you push the stick, push it, the character's not going to move, like the left stick, so you use the movement stick, push it, the character's not going to move for 11 frames, which is insane. From the very beginning, I always thought it felt kind of weird, and I didn't like the movement, in all honesty. Some of you guys would have seen my streams, and I've done some, like, highlight clips of those streams that have done quite well, got like 7,000 views, some of them. So a lot of people saw those clips, and in those clips I was complaining quite a bit. I don't like to be negative. There's no point. There's so much negativity in the gaming industry already, so there's, you know, that's half of the YouTube is just negative anyway. I don't like to be negative, but when it's a really good game that could be absolutely perfect, it needs to be said, especially when it's in beta stage, meaning they're more open to feedback, you know. But, you know, in those videos I was talking about, I loved the missions like the Braithwaite Manor Assault. I loved that. But the first time I played it, there was just so many movement bugs and glitches and getting stuck on a fucking chair and, like, glitched into a wall and stuff. And not only does it take away from the... They have patched it. They've patched stuff like glitches, like getting stuck in chairs and stuff. Now, that was, like, a couple of days after it came out that I was playing that mission. But, not only does it take away from the the missions, and it just makes you feel like you're not in control as much, but it makes the game very reliant on aim assist. Not only is it the movement, but it's the aiming, it's the strafing, it's the the actual gun mechanics that are really off. They are like, you try turning off the aim assist on this game, you'll miss 80% of your bullets, which some would say that's immersive and realistic, but at the same time, I think that's too much to miss that, even if you're really good. I've played without aim assist for ages in the campaign. It's alright, you miss a lot of shots, and it's fucking frustrating sometimes, but you can chalk it up to just be like, oh no, you know what, pretend that's immersion, pretend it's realistic, pretend it's immersion. But when you get in the multiplayer, that's where the problem really gets big, because this game in multiplayer really is fucking aim assist galore. It's nothing but aim assist. It really is nothing but aim assist. 90% of players are using aim assist in the multiplayer. So if you're trying to play, let's just get something straight. When you play without aim assist, it's something that I don't like about console gaming in general, ever since getting a computer especially. Every game has aim assist. Some games don't put too much aim assist in, but a lot of games do. And to play with aim assist, especially when it's a very heavy aim assist, why play the game? You're not playing the game, you're just watching a video, basically. Because the consoles are doing the aiming for you. The game's doing the aiming for you. Now, there's some games that pass it off, like the games that I've played recently, like Mass Effect Andromeda, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Halo and Master Chief Collection. They have aim assist, but it's not bad, I'd prefer for it to not have aim assist, but then the shortcomings of a controller stick would probably come through then. I get that there is a need for aim assist in a lot of games, but those games only have it a little bit, and it's not too bad. This game fucking takes it to a whole new level. Like, the amount of aim assist, like, if you're playing with aim assist, there's like 4 different kinds of aim assist in this game, like 4 different levels, and then even if you turn it off, you still have aim assist on. It's just weaker aim assist. Like, if you play with aim assist on this game, you're basically just watching a video of it. You're just watching a video of the game playing itself, essentially. Because you're not aiming, it takes no skill. You literally can aim at someone from 400 meters away, and it will auto-aim on it, and all you have to do is pull the trigger. There are some variables, you can like roll or evade. You can move to the side a little bit and try and dodge bullets, but the core aspect of the game, the core competitiveness of the game is the shooting, and the game's doing that for you. Like I said, in the campaign, it's frustrating, and it really is fucking delayed as fuck. It really is so delayed. It's frustrating, but you can pass it off and the campaign. A lot of NPCs in the campaign are sort of easy to deal with, and slightly more predictable than the AI is really good, but it's still inevitably going to be quite a bit more predictable than multiplayer players. Some multiplayer players are awful at the game, and it's funny it's hilarious how bad they are. But, they're always going to be quite a bit more unpredictable than, NPCs and AI. So in the campaign, it's a problem, but not as big. The multiplayer, like I said, though, I've played quite a bit of the PvE, like the co-op missions now, and they are good. They are good. But the PvP, I was playing Fool's Gold, where 2 players on the map are in gold armor, and they've got like a fucking gold bucket on their head. It's pretty funny. And that was just like unplayable. It was to the degree that it was just unplayable. I could not play it, and I could not enjoy it, because it was literally just, I don't know how many players are in that game, but everyone was using aim assist. It's just, there's no competition there. It's just whose aim assist locks on faster, and it's just not fun. It's not a fun experience. It's a lot more fun to play without aim assist, at least playing against NPCs and AI, characters. But then when you come up against a real person, you're gonna get fucking mauled. You're gonna get destroyed if that person, which he most likely is using aim assist. 9 times out of 10, you will lose that battle unless he's got 2 fingers and 1 eye. Really bad hand-eye coordination. You're gonna lose that battle. So it really makes the PvP aspect of it unplayable if you're using no aim assist. Like I said, though, there is always aim assist on for some reason. You can't actually fully turn it off. It just turns it down. But even then, with that low aim assist, if you're playing against a person who is using aim assist, you're gonna get annihilated. There's no way of playing it without aim assist on. So inevitably, you have to turn aim assist on to be within it, you know, to stand a chance. And then when you do, the game's playing itself. There's no point in playing the fucking game. The game is playing itself. And it really lets it down. A lot of people talk about graphical downgrades and, you know, the end game of the multiplayer, or, you know, you can't do this, can't do that. I don't care about that. That's not important. What is important is at least not important now. What is important is how the game plays and feels. And if that is off, that should be prioritized before every other aspect of the game. People, like I said, there's loads of controversy about, you know, graphical downgrades and everything. That is bullshit, don't get me wrong, because it's like, we bought a product only for it to get, you know, lessened later on, and we weren't told that it was going to get lessened. It's like buying a, you know, an iPhone or a console. Let's say you buy an Xbox One X, or you buy the new Xbox or new PlayStation, and it says, you know, it's supposed to have 20 gigabytes of RAM, and, you know, a GTX 1070, and, you know, an i7 or an i9 processor. And then it's like that, and then for 2 months it's like that, and then after 2 months the specs of the console or the device go down by 20% less power or something. That is essentially what's happened with this. We paid for a product. You'd be pissed off, wouldn't you? We paid for a product only then for it to be lessened. One of the great things, and one of the things that has earned Red Dead Redemption 2 so much success, is the graphics. Not just upfront graphics like, oh, that grass looks fucking realistic, but the lighting and everything. I was looking at it the other day. Even with the graphical downgrades, it looks beautiful the way that they've really captured like light, sunlight going through ears and noses and lips. It like illuminates the blood. Looks really good. This is one of the things in the game that needs to be protected and treasured, because it's one of the main winning points of the game. This is probably the best looking game ever, in my opinion. So when you're taking that away, it's very dangerous, because it's like, now that they've won over 275 Game of the Year awards and like perfect scores and stuff, now that they've won, you know, most popular campaign of, you know, the last few years, now they've won that, it's like, alright, we can chill, let's peel back the game, let's, you know, reduce the experience. Still looks gorgeous, but it needs to be nipped in the bud before they take it any further. I think they were having frame rate issues and server inconsistency issues, so what they resorted to was dropping the graphics. If it's temporary, great, that's fine, just to keep it stable and keep people playing it. But you got to be careful with this, because if everyone's like, oh, no, it's alright, you know, they've downgraded the graphics, no worries. They're going to do it again, they're going to do it again, and they're going to do it again. And the product that we all paid for, we watched the gameplay of on YouTube, and watched the trailer, and we're like, wow, the graphics look really good in that. That product is no longer that product anymore, and it's a scam, essentially. It's a scam. So I get why people are annoyed, but that shouldn't be prioritized over the actual gameplay and the feel of the game and everything. And like I said, like some of my regulars will watch this watch this video. You know that I absolutely. Sorry, I was just checking that I was recording. You know that I absolutely adore this game, and I've been playing the cult missions loads and loads. Really, really great. It's just, I won't be playing the multiplayer, like the PvP multiplayer, anytime soon, unless this gets fixed. It's a shame, because that's one of the main things I was looking forward to the most. You can still have fun, like beating the shit out of each other with knives or whatever, but when it comes to actual like shootouts and everything with another player, it's just not fun. It's not good. The last Red Dead Redemption was like this. Rockstar games have always had a heavy feel and quite delayed with the movement and everything, but this really took it to a new extreme. And I'd just love for it to, something I was thinking about before, I'd love for it to have like a really ping and responsive. I think if it had a really ping and responsive and skill-based, you know, shooting style, especially third-person shooting style. A game that I recently played through was Mass Effect Andromeda. I think that game has perfect, it's just like the perfect third-person shooter in many ways, but in just the way it feels and the way it plays. It's so smooth, it's so responsive. You know, the game doesn't get stuck if you press more than one button at once. It's just really intuitive and responsive and very fluid. The Division 2 would be another example of that. I know the Division 2 and the Division 1 aren't the most popular of games ever, but it would be an example of that, where it's a third-person, you know, shooter. Maybe not like actually shooting enemies, because there's like enemies that take like 30 bullets when they're wearing fucking woolly jumpers and stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. But just the feel of it and the way it moves, it's good. Ghost Recon, another good example. Fluid, good, responsive. You know, It doesn't have to be perfect, just needs to be better, I think. With this, you know, it's just unplayable. Like, I fantasized when they announced the multiplayer. I fantasized about, you know, shootouts in Armadillo, you know, 1v1s, or like gang war, you know, clan or posse wars where there's, you know, 7 versus 7. I fantasized about that, but if that actually happens now, it's just gonna be a fuckfest. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good at all. It's just gonna be whose aim assist locks on faster. And this brings me to probably the most dire consequence of it, and the final point of this video. This game will never come to PC if this stays the same. With the delay of the delay of the movement and the aiming is bad enough on a controller, but you can pass it off on a controller because, you know, we're used on controller players. They are most definitely, and I was a full-blown console player up until, you know, nearly a year ago now. Full-blown, you know, console players, they're used to the aim assist, so the feel of it is kind of, you know, familiar. It's still very bad, but on a mouse, this delay just will not work with a mouse. It will feel so weird with the 11 frame delay of movement and shooting and stuff. And obviously aim assist cannot be a thing. Aim assist doesn't exist on mouse and keyboard. It just doesn't. You don't need it on a mouse and keyboard, and it's never really implemented because it's such a free aim, you know, technique. So this delay just would not work with a mouse, with a keyboard too, but with a mouse it would just feel so weird. It would feel like you got a bad internet connection or something. If it's bad enough on controller, but with a mouse with that 360-degree, you know, field of movement, it just would not work to have such a delay. It wouldn't work. And it's hard to explain it to people. I know there'll be a lot of people that watch this because Red Dead is only on PS4 and Xbox One. A lot of console-only players that watch this, they won't understand what I'm getting at if you've never used a mouse before. I was like that once, but now I'm using, you know, I'm playing like Mass Effect 3 and stuff on a mouse and keyboard. It feels so different, so much better in my opinion, but it feels so different. It would not work. For a delayed game like this, it just would not work. And all the people saying, oh, I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption to come to PC, it probably won't happen for ages anyway. Especially given how much backlash Rockstar is getting for Red Dead Online right now. They'd be fools to move on to another thing before fixing the initial release of it. So I don't think it will come out, at least not for another year, unfortunately. But if this doesn't get changed, it never will come out. Because for them to put it on PC, they would have to completely revamp the shooting and the movement anyway. That 11 frame delay of the shooting and the movement and the aim assist, that would have to go anyway. They'll have to change that and completely revamp that anyway. So they might as well just revamp it and completely change it across the board instead of just doing it for PC. Also, if that happened for PC, the game would be better on PC anyway, on a powerful PC. That's just the nature of a good gaming PC. But you'd have a whole another aspect of kind of the game being better on PC, and it would be unfair on console players if they fixed the delay on PC and it was like this pingy responsive, you know, highly competitive, highly skill-based thing, and then on console you're still stuck with the fucking 11 frame, you know, response time. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what I think should be fixed and improved. Like I said, people talking about graphical downgrades, they have been minor, but I understand why people are talking about that, but that should not be what people are making videos about. This is what people should be making videos about, I think, which is why I've made this video. I haven't seen any videos, referring to this yet, so I thought I'd make a video about this. I do think it needs to be changed and fixed. The game is great. It truly is. It's a artistic masterpiece. It really, really is. And it came at a perfect time as well, because it came at the height of Fortnite coming out. Everyone was talking about like campaigns. Oh, campaigns are dying, story games are dying, and then this came out and it shut them all. It was like, shut the fuck up, shut them all up, and showed, you know, the gaming industry was labeled as the battle royale industry for so long because of fucking Fortnite. When this game came out, it brought art and you know, actual effort from game developers and actual good game mechanics back into the gaming industry. So I mean, it's a perfect game. Oh, near perfect game. It could be perfect if they change this. Let me know what you think in the comments. In terms of ETA, like estimated time of arrival, if you're not down with the youth speak that I am so fluent in. In terms of ETA, in terms of like when it would come out, like this update, when it could be changed, it's not something you can change overnight. It's not something you can change over a week. It's not something you can change over a month. It's a core aspect of the game. It shouldn't have launched in this way, really. It was even worse when it launched. It shouldn't have launched in this way. They had ages to develop it. I think, you know, if you have a great story, you have a great soundtrack, you have great graphics, you can have it all, but if you don't have a good core gameplay, you know, mechanic system, it's really going to let it down. It really is going to let it down. And there's a lot of things that you can do in this game. Loads of things that you can do in this game in terms of, like, you know, like robbing trains and doing all this. Like, if you have ever tried to rob a train on this game, you will know how fucking frustrating the delay is. Trying to, like, navigate between the seats and, like, take cover and not get shot by the deputies that come out and try and take you out and, like, rob everyone. It's super frustrating, you know. The delay that I'm referring to now, it's especially evident in indoor areas, tight areas. It just does not work in those areas. Like, it's just very, very difficult. I'm referring more to the third person aspect of it. First person it's just as bad, but I don't think many people play in first person, honestly. It's a cool little immersive thing, but it's just not. You play worse in first person on multiplayer and campaign. I think it's more there for the immersion. They could do stuff for the first person as well. The first person is very hard to play in, I think. It needs to be more. It doesn't feel like the same game when you're playing first person. Like the way you sprint, you can't look and sprint at the same time. When you sprint, your camera just gets locked up and like you're running there. You see your gun in front of you. Very, very weird. And the first person is a cool aspect of it because it puts you more in the world. So I think if they could bring these changes over for the third person and also to the first person, that would be great. But I think the first person view would need more tweaking after that as well for it to be perfect, you know. An example of this would be Skyrim. When you play Skyrim in third person and first person, it feels like you're still playing the same game. The sort of the camera behavior is the same, the movement behavior is the same. But on Red Dead Redemption 2, it doesn't feel the same. It feels like completely different games. It doesn't feel like you've just changed to a different view. It's like riding a horse is so difficult in first person on this game. So I mean, I'd want them to patch that as well and fix that. But I think the delay needs priority. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Estimated time arrival, as I was about to talk about then before I went on a tangent. This isn't something you can do overnight. It will probably be, unfortunately, a few months of work from them for them to fix the entire core mechanics of the game. Unless they're already working on it. If they've already been working on it for a few months now, it could come out tomorrow. It could come out next week. I hope they have. Because I'm not the first one to complain about this. I think I'm just the first one to constructively say, right, what actually needs to be changed, or maybe one of the first ones. What actually needs to be changed, instead of just saying, oh, it feels heavy, it feels crap, game's awful. Because I read some of that when the game first came out. But yeah, let me know what you think. Estimated time of arrival, few months. You know, at least I think the game really could be amazing. You know, I want this to be. I want the multiplayer to be something that just lives for ages. I want this to be a really active, live game for ages. Because if it doesn't get solved soon, I think in a year or so, the hype from the game will still be awesome, but the hype from the game will inevitably sort of, you know, die down a little bit, and it won't be. Because what's keeping the player base alive right now is the campaign. You know, people are still picking up the game for the campaign, and they're still playing the multiplayer. If it was just multiplayer only, I don't think this game would have very many players. I'm just being real. Like the core content is really, really great. The co-op missions and everything really, really great. They could add some other stuff like bank robberies that you can do together. That'd be fucking amazing. Or like train robberies. You can't rob trains in the multiplayer because there's no passenger trains, just cargo trains. That'd be cool. But they're minor things. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble. Let me know what you think. And also, Rockstar is on all social media. And also, if you go on the Red Dead Redemption 2 website, you can find places to give feedback. I'm not just saying this, I'm not just recording this video for no reason. Go onto these places, say what I've said if you agree with it. And if you don't agree with it, go fuck yourself. I'm joking. Say what what you think. Give them what you think, because the sooner we say stuff about it, the sooner it will get sorted, and the sooner it will get fixed. Hence the beta period thing. Hence why it's in beta. I think they probably predicted that it would be like this. But yeah, go on Twitter, go on Facebook. I don't know if they have an Instagram. They have a YouTube channel, I think. Go on all these and just say these points. That's why they're reading. But they may check out videos like this. They may have some like you know, social network representatives that watch videos like this to gain feedback. But you have to go and find them and give the feedback, I think. So yeah, go on the website. That'll probably be the best place, and Twitter. Rockstar on Twitter, or Red Dead Redemption 2 on Twitter, and give them this feedback and whatever things you'd like to add to it as well. That's the only way we can get the game to be perfect, because it is damn near perfect. It's a truly, it's a masterpiece. It's amazing, it really is, and I want to see good things for it, you know? Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video or the next stream. Bye-bye.